Welcome back. So we are going to do another example of how to solve a multi-step equation using different approaches. This time, the problem is a numerical equation. The first one was an equation where you have to derive the equation from the worded problem. However, we have a numerical one in this one. So let us get right into it. So it says solve the equation 3 times the difference between x and 5 minus 5x equals to negative 25 plus 6x. So let me just write it back here for you to see. Minus 5x equals negative 25. My writing is not so perfect because I'm using my mouse. All right, so let's go. So again, once you have a parentheses based on order of operation, we start with the parentheses first. All right, but if you look inside the parentheses, we cannot take away 5 from xy because they're unlike terms. All right, so to get rid of the parentheses, we will have to use distributive property, mean that we are going to multiply the factor outside with each term inside. So we're going to multiply 3 times x and also 3 times 5. So 3 times x is positive 3 times x is positive 3x. And positive 3 times minus 5 is minus 15. All right. So here we're going to write back what was in the original problem. Then we are going to do our next step. All right. Always do one step at a time so you can see clearly what you are doing. So if you make any error, it is easier for you to pinpoint the error you make. All right. Once we get rid of our parentheses, we are going to move to the next step. If you look on the left-hand side, just label our equation. Left-hand side of the equal sign, right-hand side of the equal sign. All right. So if you look on the left-hand side, you notice that we have what we call like terms. And again, like terms are terms that have the same variable and the same exponent. So here we have 3x and we have minus 5x. So we need to combine like terms. We combine like terms to get one variable term. Because remember, the goal is to isolate the variables. So you have to reduce the number of variable term you have to 1, so it is easier for you to find the value of that variable. So we are going to combine these two like terms. So 3x minus 5x is equals to, let me just write it right here for you to see, 3x minus 5x. Remember, when you rearrange it to combine your like terms, remember the sign goes with the term. So if you see a minus in front, you put it back. All right. If it's a positive in front, you put it back. So there we have it. 3x minus 5x, which is equals to negative 2x. Remember now, when you are subtracting or adding like terms, what you add or subtract is the coefficient and you keep the variable. So we're going to put back our minus 15 because we don't use that, it's a constant. Now, let us write back what we have on our right-hand side of the equal sign. All right, so now we go down to this equation now. We are going to group our like terms on one side of the equal sign, mean that on one side we are going to have variable terms, on the other side of the equal sign we are going to have constant term. All right, we need to separate them. So to do that, we are going to remove the negative 2x from the left and put it on the right. Reason being, as I said before in my previous video, I prefer to work with positive coefficients, all right? So I take the smaller one and I put it where the larger one is. To do that again, we use what we call inverse operation. So whatever is happening to the variable there, you do the opposite. So right there, we have a negative 2x. So the only way to get rid of it or to make it 0 is to add 2x. If I add 2x to the left, I add 2x to the right. All right? So this is gone. This is 0. On my left, I have negative 15 or minus 15 equals to negative 25 plus 6x plus 2x, which is equals to 8x. If you notice now, I have just variable on one side. And then my next step is going to be putting my constant on the other side. So I need to bring my constant to the left. All right. To do that, I use inverse operation again, where I add 25. I always do the same number, the opposite of what is happening. All right. So if I add 25 over there, I add 25 here. So this is gone. This is 0. On my left, I'm going to have negative 15 plus 25 is equals to 10. All right. That is it. And on my right, I am going to have 8x. All right. Now I am down to one step. I am going to go ahead. Let me just put it like this. I prefer to work with my variables on the left. Right? So now I need to get rid of that 8. Again, I'm going to do the opposite, which is inverse operation. So I divide through by 8 here, and I divide through by 8 here. So this 8 cancels this 8. I am left back with just my x on the left. And if I divide that side by 8, I'm going to have 8 over 10. You can write it as 10 over 8, sorry. 10 over 8. Or you can write it as a mixed fraction. So you can just leave it like that. And that is how we solve another multi-step equation using distributive property and combining like terms. Always be sure to write your step. When you write your steps, it is easier for you to track if you make a mistake, to go back and see the error that you made. All right. Thank you again for watching.